chapter 8 is on money. And our essential question is, how do I count and use money? So throughout this chapter, we will be reviewing the coins, pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters, and even some bills like the dollar bill. And then we'll be practicing counting it, because we need to learn how to count money. Because if you want to go shopping or to a store, you need to be able to count money. Okay? All right, so we're going to watch the video that goes with this to help us get started.
Let's count money. How much money do you have for lunch today? I see a dollar bill as well as 1 quarter, 3 dimes, and 2 nickels. That should be enough to buy you something good to eat. This sandwich costs 100 cents. 100 cents is equal to $1. You can use your dollar bill to buy this PB&J. Sure looks good. Why don't you wash down your sandwich with a nice glass of milk? Milk costs 40 cents. When you're counting with coins, it's best to start on the coin with the highest value first. That makes it easier to figure the value. If you give me the quarter, a dime, and a nickel, the milk is all yours. 25 cents plus 10 cents plus 5 cents equals 40 cents. Does that give you enough left over to get a cookie too? Uh-oh, it looks like you'll have to pick something else instead. 2 dimes and a nickel only add up to 25 cents, and that's 25 cents less than the cost of a cookie. That's okay, a banana costs less and is better for you anyway. I knew you'd like it. You can use math to count with money. You should let everyone know.
So as you see, when we count money, we are going to have to know how to add. And that's what we've been working on this whole beginning of the year, is adding. So we have to know our adding in order to be able to count money. Okay? I'm going to pass out this worksheet. Would you nicely put at the top your name up in that, and Mrs. Stewart can help me. Mrs. Stewart can do it if you want. Put your name right at the top in the orange up here, please, okay? So that when we put it in mailboxes, we can find your name. Okay, so right up here in this section up here, please put your name.
Are we actually using our money? And like we
Louis, you need to really start work on raising your hand, please. Okay, when you have your name on it, just like Mrs. Murphy does, you can flip it to the next page. The next page is the project, and we are not going to do the project, so you can either cross it off or you can leave it. And maybe if you're at home, if you want to do that project at home, you can do that project, okay? We'll be doing some fun projects this chapter with money. We'll like pretend we have a store, and we'll be buying some things. So we're going to do a project, but it's going to be a little bit more than just this paper, okay? So this could be something at home you can definitely do, okay? Now the next page is the Am I Ready? Remember, we always do this before our chapter to show Mrs. Murphy if you're ready for this chapter or not. So let's skip this for right now, because you will do it in just a few minutes. Okay, so let's go on to the back.
that's what I was just on.
Okay, on the back, we're going to review some vocabulary that we are going to have to know for this chapter. And we might review some words that we've already been taught. So, our review vocabulary words are equal groups, repeated addition, and skip counting. In the video today, I saw repeated addition used? When we were counting, they were counting dimes. They had like 2 dimes. And they had to repeat 10 plus 10 to get 20. So we're going to be using repeated addition a lot in this math chapter on money. Now, we're going to look at each example. Then we are going to complete each sentence to describe the example. Then we're going to write the repeated addition sentence. So we're going to practice this, okay? So look at the first one. So I have 2 circles that are circled and made into a group. So this is one group. 2 circles here made into another group. 2 circles here made into a third group. And 2 circles there made into a fourth group. So over here says describe. Equal groups of blank. So what are those equal groups of? What do you think that is? Wyatt, what do you think it is? What was that, Wyatt? I didn't quite hear you.
Equal groups.
Of what, though? Okay, now I just want to give you a little hint. This is a group, this is a group, this is a group, this is a group. They're all groups. They're all equal. But how many circles are in each group, Wyatt? This group has how many? How many circles?
Everyone can do this.
Wyatt, how many circles are in this group? Red circles.
8.
No, there's 8 total.
2.
But there's 2 in this group. There's 2 in this group. 2 in this group. 2 in this group. So there's 2 in each group. Are all the groups equal? Yes. So we're going to put equal groups of 2 because there's 2 in each group. Now Wyatt is right. There are 8 total, but we broke them into groups. Now, if we wanted to skip count, because we might have to learn, we're going to have to be skip counting a lot with money. Like if we have dimes, we're going to have to skip count by tenths. If we have nickels, we're going to have to skip count by 5s. We really won't have to skip count by 2s because there's no coin that's worth 2, is there?
But there is dollars.
$1.
Well, that's not anymore.
But there is pennies. Pennies would be 1. So that would just be like counting like normal, counting by 1. Now, skip count by what? If Mrs. Murphy wanted to count these circles, I could count by 2s. 2, 4, 6, 8. So I was just skip counting by 2. Okay, now, in these boxes, normally like we have to match the vocabulary words, but we don't have to on this one. This one is all repeated addition here. So how would I write that as a repeated addition? John, how do you think I could do that? How can Mrs. Murphy figure out how many circles are here using repeated addition? What can I do? There's 8 circles, but how can I figure that out? Does anybody know? Raise your hand if you have an idea. Elias, what do you think?
Count by 2.
And how would you do that? Show Mrs. Murray, or tell me.
2, 4.
Oh, we're adding, so repeated addition. So we're going to do 2 plus, so there's 2 here. 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. Good job. So right there, I have 4 2's because I have 4 groups. 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. And then I put equals 8. Write that, please, write down. Okay, so this is repeated addition because the 2's are being repeated. Lewis, thanks for raising your hand.
8.
8, is that the total?
Yes.
Yes, you are right. You are right. Brooklyn.
Oh, my dad has
yeah.
Good point. You know what?
You can have $2 bills. It's just really
You
weird.
can't really
Right.
use them.
You can have a
Okay. So Brooklyn made a good point. There are no coins that are worth 2, but there are some dollar bills that are worth 2. We just don't see them a lot. Like if you go shopping, you'll never get a $2 bill. They're very rare. And so if you have a $2 bill, you probably want to keep it in a safe spot. So Brooklyn said her dad keeps it in a safe spot. And your dad, I have a couple. I'll bring a couple because I have them in my safe at home in a safe spot. So when we start money, I will be bringing some money in to show you. And Lewis, I know you had a question earlier, but you were blurting. The question Lewis said is, some of you brought money at the beginning of the year to use to count with, and I have that money, and yes, we'll be pulling that out. And if you did bring real money, Mrs. Murphy has money for you already ready. Oh, you have yours in your desk? So like Carson didn't bring real money, so he has fake money. That's all ready for him, okay? So if you brought real money, I have yours in a container with your real money. And we'll get that out either tomorrow or next week, okay? Wyatt?
I have 2 real ones. I have a few $2 bills, but I also have a $1 coin.
I don't want you to bring them because I don't want you to lose them, but I have a bunch that I'll bring, okay? Okay.
$1 coin.
Raylan?
I think we have a $9 bill.
I do.
There is? A 9 one? I'm not sure. I've never seen a 9 one. You think? You look and see it now. Okay? Carson?
We were going shopping once. We paid for this thing, then gave us money back to us, and then the money them gave us back to us was a $2 bill.
Oh, so once in a while you might get one, but it's very rare. So
Yeah,
it could happen.
We were like, what?
So if you ever get one,
We
you might want to keep it and save it. Is that what you did, Carson?
Yeah, so I put it in my room in my cupboards.
Good. So if you ever get one, because it could happen, it's just rare, I would keep it and save it. Okay, let's go on to this next one. Look at these. These are blocks. They're Unifex cubes that are all put together. So look how many groups I have. So these were circled. These are not. So look at the stick. I would call them a stick of Unifex cubes. How many sticks do I have? What do you think, Kaden? 5. So I have equal groups of 5. Now, my question is, how many cubes are on each group? Lewis. Good job. 5. So there's 5 on each group. So this would be like counting nickels. When we have nickels and work with nickels, they're worth 5. So who can think they know the repeated addition fact for this one? Wyatt. Okay, Wyatt, you want to write it up there? Okay, so Wyatt, if we're going to write this for addition, we're going to start with this. This is 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5. And if you run out of room and need to go down here, guys, that's okay. Now, I would not count all those cubes because we can skip count by 5. So what is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Right, Wyatt, because we're counting by 5s and there's 5 groups. 4 groups would be 20. There you go. Yeah? So 5 groups is 25. So right there, if we had 5 nickels, that'd be 25. All right, now let's go on to the bottom one. So look at these. I have some yellow circles. Who can figure out how many groups I have? Addie? there's more than 2, honey. There's count them again. That would mean that there's only 2 circles in a group.
That would make no sense.
Let her check figure it out. There you go. There's 10 in a group. So I have 2 groups of 10. Now, if I wanted to add this, Libby, do you know how I'd add it for repeated addition? So this group would be how many? 10. Just remember, point your finger. There you go. Just like that. Plus 10. 10 plus 10, because I only have 2 groups of 10. What would that be equal to, Libby? 10. 20. She's got it. So, this would be like counting dimes, where we have to count by 20s. So we really need to know how to count, skip count, and we need to know our repeated addition, because we are going to be using that a lot in our chapter on money. Okay? All right. Now, what we're going to do is, we are going to do the am I ready? So everybody flip it to the am I ready? Okay. Miss Schaefer's first group, you're going to go with Mrs. Benegay. Line up with her. When you get back, you're going to do the am I ready? Okay, now, put your pencil down for a second. Mrs. Murphy is just going to tell you what you need to do. Okay? You are going to, number 1, skip count by 5s. By 5s. So I want to see if you can count by 5s. So like 5, 10, 15, 20. Say them in your head and then write them. 2 should be easy. Skip count by 10s. Numbers 3 through 8, you are just adding. We're checking your adding again, because that's what we're doing in this chapter again, is adding with our money. Because when we're counting our money, we're adding. And then the last thing, I'm going to read it, you listen. Kim is counting her mittens. She skip counts by 2s. She counts up to 12. How many pairs of mittens does Kim have? I'm going to give you a little hint. If I were you, I would maybe draw this out, because this is kind of a challenging one. So, if she has mittens, I know that mittens come in 2s. They're a pair. So if I would draw 1 circle or 1 group, hold on 1 second. So here's 1 group, and I'm going to draw mittens as best as I can. I know this isn't perfect,
That's actually pretty good.
but that is 2 mittens. So this is 1 pair. So I want to get up to 12 mittens. So this is 1, 2 mittens. I'm going to do another group with mittens. So now I have 4 mittens. So I have 2 groups. Okay? So I want to get to 12 mittens that I draw. My question is, how many pairs or how many groups of mittens is that? Don't write 12, because that would not make sense.
Because that
Okay.
would be way more.
It would be way more than 12. So it's not 12. So I want you to see how many groups, how many pairs do you have if you have 12 mittens? Okay, 1, you get done. Hand it into math. I'm going to have you pick up a Dr. Seuss mystery picture, and I'm going to show you what you're going to do for the rest of math today, okay? In just a minute,